Hi, beautiful, powerful men and women of the Philippines and around the world. Today it's going to be different with our daily hope because I would be reading this prayer or declaration that John E. Thomas has written, and it was sent to me by my love, April. She sent it to me at the right time. You know, when I was like asking the Lord, can you encourage me, please? And this declaration or this or prayer of John E. Thomas really shouts my heart, and he put it in such a way that I felt like I was writing it because this is how I feel, and I want to share it with you. It says here, make me burn. I'm gonna read it through first and then we can talk about it. It says, I was not created to be one of those timid souls that sits on the sidelines of life and watches the world go by. I was made for greatness. The DNA of my Father screams from my heart, give me adventure, give me souls, give me the world lest I die. I must see heaven invade the earth. I must be in the center of what you're doing. Don't let me waste away in quietness and normalcy. Don't let me be satisfied with anything less than your presence, invading earth wherever I go. I don't want good enough. I don't want to get by. I don't want to fade into the shadow of history without making my mark. The mark of the cross in the souls of men. Put a fury in my heart and let me run for all your goodness to explode into this earth. I will not sit by and let others tell the story of your deeds. I will have my own stories of your love, changing lives, healing bodies, transforming cities, discipling nations. Don't let me settle, God. Give me your fire or let me die. Give me your fire or take me home. I must have my home. I must have heaven and life or death. The choice is yours. But do not deny me access to our home that you have prepared for me. The veil is torn and access is available. Don't let me look from a distance at the treasure you purchased with the precious blood and say, oh, that's nice. But right now I have a field that needs my attention. I have another life to live. My life is gone. You have bought me with a price and I surrender. Use me, God. Burn in me, God. Don't let me settle for the mundane when the glory of God is my portion. Don't let me settle when I can satisfy your heart. Don't let me hold on to my life when I can live yours. Make me a martyr, God. In life or death, you choose. But I have chosen to die that I may live. I lay down this shadow of a life so that I can have the substance. I let go of my hopes and dreams, and I choose to live your dream. Don't deny me, God. I set a fire in my heart, in my soul. Make my life burn and send me out among the dry woods and weeds in the church and in the world until the fire spreads and consumes all that is flesh so that my new life can come. Make me a wildfire that burns for heaven, consuming all that is earthly. I am yours, God, and you are mine. I will settle for nothing less than wasting my life so that the Lamb may receive the reward of his suffering. You are worthy. It is enough, God. I've seen your power. I've seen your glory. It's not enough, God. I can't settle for a drop when there is a cup. I can't settle for a pool when there is an ocean. I won't back down. I must have more. Give me more. Give me your power, God. Let me be the revival I want to see. Let me be the answer to the dream of your heart. Use me to purify your bride and present her holy before you. Come, God. There must be more. I will not settle. I cannot settle. I will not be satisfied until the blood that was shed is satisfied. Give me your power, God. I will do your will. In the scroll of your book, it is written of me. I have come to do your will. I have loved righteousness so you have anointed me with the oil of joy and gladness. I am after your heart, God, and I will not back down. I must have more. Break rebellion and send revival. Let this not just be my cry, oh God. Make it the cry of a generation. Break rebellion. Send revival. Don't let me back down, God. Don't allow these moments past to be tomorrow's ashes. Burn in me with an everlasting flame. I don't know about you, but this is so my heart. He says in first verse that I was not created to just be timid. I was made to be of greatness. Why? Because my God, my Father is the great I am. You and I were created in the image and likeness of Jesus Christ. He is the great I am. And so you are not born for mediocrity. You're born for such a time as this to be the power that God wants you to be. He says your DNA is the scream. It's the Father's. Your DNA is God's DNA, and it screams for a zest for life, a life to reap souls for Jesus, and the world to really receive the life of God. He says here and he even said here, I don't just want to get by. I don't want good enough. I want to make a mark, the mark of the cross. It's not about you and I. It's about God being known to people. It's about God being received by the souls of men. And so his prayer was, put a passion. No. Put fury in my heart and let me run for all your goodness and explode on the earth. And he says here, I'll not sit by. No, I mean, I want to be a part of you changing lives, healing bodies, transforming cities, discipling nations. Don't let me be settled for anything less than that. He was like crying, if you're not going to give me that fire, then let me just go. I will be very honest with you. This is what I'll pull you in. This is what I tell God, Lord, my life is you. The purpose in my life is you. So if you're not there, I don't want to live. I was about to do the Beautiful, Powerful Women Conference, and it's called Hearts of Love with Heidi Baker. And but then all of a sudden, this coronavirus had this bad effect on everything. And so I was supposed to go to the Philippines on March 1, and coronavirus news spread heavily already, even before. And so what it caused was, in the beginning, it was panic. People were afraid and all that. And I cannot deny that I was nervous myself, because our conference was March 14th, and I was going to fly to the Philippines March 1 to get things ready. I haven't talked about this before because it just happened, but I haven't given the full account, so I'm going to give it to you right now. So on 3 days before I left, I was really asking the Lord, Daddy God, do you really want me to go? Because my family has been telling me, maybe don't go. The people that are close to me are saying, maybe don't go. All the people that I can think of would say to me, naturally, don't go. Right, because it's logical. Why would you go? You know that there's a pandemic happening right now around the world. Why do you have to go and be, why do you want to go there? Why not stay home and just be comfortable and, just for me, it would be easy for me to stay home because then at that time as well, I just arrived in America, and so therefore my papers were not complete yet. To cut the story short, I don't know whether I'll be accepted back in here because my card has not arrived. And so I was asking my team, please pray, because I do not know whether this is actually how it should be. So I was asking the Lord, do you want me to give up my life here? Do you want me to give up my family in order for me to do your calling, right? So I knew that I needed to go to the Philippines because 3 days before my flight, I asked the Lord, do you want me to really go? Because, I have given you my family already. I have given you my life. If I'm not going to obey you, which is illogical actually. Everything else is, if you come to think of it, it's easy to just say, okay, no need to go, cancel everything, right? But that's not what God is telling me. God is telling me you have to go and I'll be there and I'll take care of it and I'll help you. So I had peace that I'll be able to come back properly, back to America, be with my family. But it doesn't look like it's like that because, the atmosphere is just fear all over the world. And there's no way that I can do anything else than to just trust that I have an entry coming back here. But I also didn't know whether I'll be locked down in the Philippines, I will be allowed to go back, things like that. So it was a big decision for me. So I said to the Lord that, I have given you up I've given up everything. And I spoke to my husband. In everything that I do, I always want to honor my husband, right? And so I was talking to him and I was telling him, that I need to go because God said so. And we both have an understanding that when God says so, then it is so. We have to, we just have to trust him. So to cut the story short, on the day that I was going to leave, another friend of mine said to me, everybody canceled on her because they're supposed to come there to the Philippines. And then that same day, a very loved sibling of mine came to my room and said, don't go. All the things, all the people that I was with was like, no go. So who do I listen to? Do I listen to the people that I love or God that I serve? Not that you're, you try to be a martyr, you try to be, somebody that you're not, no, or trying to be, you guys don't know how to obey God or something. No, it's not that. I believe all of us are called for something and all of us has our own purpose. And so we really need to obey God more than anything. And so even if it looks like it's weird and you look like you're a fool, you need to hear the Lord and you need to obey that voice because that's where the blessings is. So I went on the day that I was leaving. That morning I was told don't go. And then I was telling the Lord, I allow you to stop me anytime. So to cut this story short, I went in the evening. And even when I handed my passport, the girl took my passport and said, we don't know whether you'll be allowed back. So they took my passport for probably 15 minutes. I'm thinking, okay, God, you know what? If I can't leave, that's good. At least you're the one that stopped me already because I can't really do anything anymore. And then the lady comes out and says, okay, you're good to go. I said, okay, I'll just trust you, Lord. I went to the Philippines. And God told me to visit the prison, visit indigenous people, help a church, do whatever I needed to do. So within 10 days, I was visiting, places that are just, full of people, embracing them because we were doing inner healing and deliverance. I was just all over the place. and this coronavirus at the same time are spreading, right? I didn't really, my eyes and my focus is on obeying God, that I can't even think of what is happening around me. And of course, we were really like, soaking in the Lord and just walking daily in obedience. And the day that my speaker, Heidi Baker, came, I was told that the president had a decree, you cannot meet. So what are you going to do? So all of a sudden, you're presented with something that is unexpected, and so many people in your life is actually affected. And I really had to listen to the Lord. And he said, that you just do a live podcast. And I did. So the next day we had our live telecast, and there were more people that were able to hear the message of the Lord, rather than if we actually did it on an actual place. So that was a blessing. And at the same time, the day after that, God told me to go home. So I went home, but I couldn't change my flight, and I didn't know what to do. And finally, I just took risk of getting a ticket through Japan Airlines. That's the last ticket that I could get. So I took that in, although I didn't know whether, people that go through Japan are allowed to come in America. So I really don't know anything. I just said, okay, God, this is the last ticket I can get. This is the one that I can afford. This is what I'm going to do. So I bought that ticket. And without me knowing that I had to be in Japan for 17 hours, guys. I was in Japan 17 hours. I'm like, okay, God, this is really not fun. I was like, this is really not fun, Lord. I mean, I really don't like what's happening here, because all the hotels are booked. That is in the airport. You can hardly see people in the airport. And I was there for 17 hours, and I didn't know, and I was tired. Every day I didn't sleep almost for 10-12 full days, and I did a lot of things. When you worked a lot, and then you get to be tired. And I was tired, and I was complaining to the Lord, and the Lord says, stop complaining and just be thankful. And so 2 hours before I left for San Francisco, I was like, okay, God, I'm so sorry that I was complaining. It's just that I'm tired. Because I couldn't see the joy of what I was doing at the end, because I was like waiting at the terminal for 8 hours, and then now I'm waiting another 17 hours. I just want to go home. So God was actually stirring up my heart to really just, take out whatever is in my heart from whatever has happened and give it to the Lord and exchange it for His joy and thanksgiving. And so 2 hours before that, my heart was fine. I flew to San Francisco. I didn't have any trouble. I went straight through the gate, and my husband was there. You see, that's zest of life. That is full on obedience, because I didn't know what's going to happen. I know maybe for you it's not giving up on anything, but for me it's giving up everything. I was giving up my husband, my daughter, my siblings. I was giving up my place here in America, because this is where we live now. This is where we're gonna live. We're just transitioning here in America, and yet I'm flying back to the Philippines. I don't even know what's gonna happen. I just basically didn't know whether I'm gonna get sick, not get sick, because I don't know. I was always with the people. I was even in a confined place, because God told me to go and sing to the prisoners, and we were like in a confined place there, and I was embracing everybody that was broken, that was in the church. So it's like, this is my own intimacy with God. This is my own journey with God. This is the prayer that I did. This is the prayer that I gave the Lord. Make me burn for you and for your people. And this is my response. So that's why I'm sharing this letter or this declaration or prayer of John E. Thomas, because he wrote it so powerfully. He wrote what I was feeling, and there is He says here, it is enough, God. I've seen your power. I've seen your glory. It's not enough. I can't settle for a drop when there is a cup. I can't settle for a pool when there is an ocean. I won't back down. I must have more of God. And I want to be a part of what God is doing. I don't want to waste my time. And if it means that I'm going to have to give up, or I'm going to have to go to a place where it's actually infested with something, I'll have to do that. You know, he says, give me more, Lord. Let me be the revival I want to see. Because it's my heart's desire. You know, when you have Jesus in your heart, you just are compelled to do something. You're compelled to really desire for what God desires. You are compelled to love the things that God, the people that God loves. You just want to be, you want to give your life to them. You want to give. And so this is my prayer. Let me be the answer to the dream of your heart, Lord. Use me to purify your bride and present her holy before you. I want every single person I know to know God. I want every single person to understand that Jesus is the freedom that you need. I want them to feel the love that I feel. I want them to have the hope that I have through my intimacy with God. It's just something that burns in my heart. And the last one, he says, there must be more. I won't settle. I cannot settle. I will not be satisfied until the blood that was shed is satisfied. Give me your power, God. I will do your will. In the scroll of your book, it is written of me, I have come to do your will. I have loved righteousness, so you have anointed me with the oil of joy and gladness. I am after your heart, God. That's important, to be after the heart of God. And I will not back down. I must have more. Break rebellion and send revival. Let this not just be my cry, God. Make it be the cry of a generation. I want the new generation to have the same cry. Break rebellion, send revival. Don't let me back down. Don't allow this moment's passion to be tomorrow's ashes. Burn in me with an everlasting flame. I don't know about you, but Jesus is worthy of our everything. And without him, there is no reason to live. He is so worthy and he is so good. And just as I have met God and he allowed himself to be known to me and have an intimate relationship with him, I would love that. I would love that to be yours as well. And so I just encourage you to read that. John E. Thomas. It's a decision. It's a decision that we make. But it's a good decision because he is worthy. He is trustworthy. He's the most important thing. He's the most important person someone should have. He's irreplaceable in our lives because he is our completion and he is our satisfaction. He's the only one that knows us and loves us purely and perfectly. He is a good God. So I bless you today. I bless you with a fire, with a fury burning in your heart for Jesus and for others. In Jesus' name, amen. I'll see you later.